I live down in Ahwatukee, so I'm on the south side, but it's a big city, so everybody's coming around. So thanks. Who's from out of state? Thanks for making the effort. We appreciate it. All right, we've got an hour. We're going to go through a bunch of stuff, and then we'll open up to some questions. We got some time. I just want to bring you up to date on a couple things, just give you sort of much sort of information as possible. We've got a big announcement at the end, so stay tuned at the end. You guys will be like the first ones to see the news. So let's just begin right at the beginning. Instead of waiting till the end and waiting for a commercial, somebody saying, "How about that movie, Todd?" Right? let's just get to the elephant in the room real quickly. So here's the update. Here's as current as you can have it right now. There's a script that's done, and I've read the first 55 pages of the script because the writers, there's a couple of them, are doing like some rewrites. We're all neurotic as creative people. We're never satisfied with our work, so that, you know, writers and artists, we're all the same. As soon as we get it done, we think it's horrible. We got to do it again. And so we're going through all of it. Here's the reality of what we're all hoping for. And everybody on our team is pushing towards the exact same goal. Fingers crossed, we should hopefully be able to attain the goal as I'm about to lay out. Number one, there's a movie coming out shortly. It's going to be Deadpool, right? Deadpool is going to crush it. Right? Deadpool is going to crush it. You guys know it's going to crush. How do you read my hand? So Deadpool's going to. Oh, okay, you can live it. So Deadpool's going to crush, and Joker 2 is going to come out this right in October. Yeah. Here's why those are important, and they will have some direct impact on Spawn, because I believe potentially that those are going to be the top 2 grossing movies in Hollywood. The top 2 grossing movies of all the movies that are going to come out, those could be number 1 and 2. Now, Hollywood is very predictable in that when they see things that work, they want to repeat them. And when they look at those 2 movies, if they're anywhere close to being 1 and 2, and they may be 1 and 2, they're going to go, what do they have in common? And it's going to be easy. They're comic book movies, and they're both R-rated. And that's the piece. And so Hollywood's going to shift, I believe, and they're going to go, oh, we know that some of the recent superhero movies have been sort of trending a little bit down and haven't been doing so good. What we need is R-rated comic book movies. Why? Because the top 2 movies this year are R-rated. They're going to shift. And they're going to both go into their libraries, Marvel and DC, and they're going to pull out like all their dark and R-rated characters, and they're going to start instant development. The companies that are not owned by Marvel and DC, right, which is Disney owns Marvel, Warner Brothers owns DC, all the rest of them are going to be looking for the same thing. And they're going to go, man, where could we find an R-rated comic book movie, especially even superhero? And Spawn's going to be staring them in the face like it has been for a long time. They're finally going to wake up to it because they like to make money. And they're going to go, what makes money? R-rated comic book movie. Boom. So put that to one side. So that's going to be on our side. The other piece is Hollywood, given that they like to make money, like to chase the money makers. Okay? Joker 2, I don't know if you guys know, Joker 1 when it came out is the only R-rated movie in cinema history, ever in the history of cinema, that was R-rated that broke $1 billion in sales. It's a unicorn. It's a unicorn. I think there's a good chance of Joker 2 doing the exact same thing. And if Joker 2 does it a second time, it's got Lady Gaga, and you guys seen the trailer, and it's like crazy cool. If it does it a second time, even if it doesn't, even if it does even closer, but I think it's going to get close, if not more. They're going to chase the people who make movies, who make money. The person who wrote Joker 1 and Joker 2 will then be, it's the same person, will be one of only 2 human beings on this planet to have ever written, if Joker 2 goes to $1 billion, have written 2 scripts that went over $1 billion. The other human being is James Cameron. And you guys went to those 2 Avatar movies, right? So, and he did Titanic, so he's got a couple over there. They were all PG-13. The steeper hill has always been R. And there's a guy who wrote a script that made $1 billion, and he may do it a second time. Well, if we go to the next slide, go back one. So the writer of Spawn is a Joker writer. So we're going to be walking into Hollywood, hopefully at a time where they're going to go, we've got a $1 billion writer named Scott Silver. And we've got R-rated comic book movies on our brain, and they're going to be chasing both. And they're going to be chasing Scott. And they're going to go, Scott, whatever you want to do, you make $1 billion. You tell me, write a script. What do you want to do? And he's going to hold Spawn, because that's his script. So we're going to be in the spot that finally, after all this sort of long root canal called Hollywood development, we're going to be in the spot where I think that collision is going to be way in our favor. Way in our favor. So what does that mean? That means either, and we're talking about making that deal somewhere between San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con. Again, we're at the mercy of when the writers feel completely comfortable letting that script go out. But we're going to go in the studio and say, here it is. There's those people, those writers, that script. We want to go. We just want your money, and let's go. You don't want your content. That's it. This is a go project. This is a go project. We're not going to get into development in a second time. It is developed. You're buying this script with these people. Do you want it? And then the question is, do we sell them a 1-picture deal? Do we sell them a 3-picture deal? Or do we have a bigger conversation and do we talk to them about the Spawn universe as a whole? Now, I don't know where it's all going to end up and where it's going to all vet out, but that's where everybody on our team is rowing right now. So stay tuned, right? The goal is to have that deal done if the script is ready before New York Comic-Con, before Joe Pachuca comes out. That's it. That's where we're at. So it keeps. I know I've been promising. I know, and it's just as painful to me. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and we may be in a catbird seat. R-rated stuff, and I got Scott Silver, the $1 billion unicorn. So that's where we're at. Oh, by the way, the other writer, which is the other slide. The other writer is the one that wrote some of the Captain America. So we've got a couple of key, good, talented people. Hollywood likes to spend money on talented people that have proven that they can do successful stuff. So that's where we're at. And with that is the backdrop of everything that in my mind, at some point, if I can finally pull this off, Spawn gets out of the bubble, and the bubble is comic books. In the comic book world, we love comic books. We're all geeks. But you guys know, I will know that once it bursts out, once you tell people oh yeah, walking down with a comic book before you went, then all of a sudden you want, right? I still to this day, I can go up and down the street. I don't do it, but I could. And I knock on the neighbor's door and go, hi, I'm Todd McFarlane, created Spawn. And they will stare at me blankly, right? Get off my lawn, kid. But if I change a couple words, there's a dramatic different reaction. If I say, hey, I'm Todd McFarlane, whatever, I go create Venom. Whoosh. Recognition. I see recognition on their face. Why? They know the movie. They know the movie. That's it. They don't collect comic books. They don't do anything. They just either went to the movie, have heard of the movie, or know somebody in their family or friends that has talked or saw the movie. Boom. And you get street cred. Okay. I have to get Spawn out of that bubble in a meaningful way, right? We did it a long time ago, but this is the moment. And if that does it, then they're going to all run going, where is the source material? And all you people got your old Spawn issues, hopefully the price is going to go back up. Yes. So, anyway, that's where we're at with the movie as of today. The writers will tell us when they're ready to basically say, let's go, and let's go see if we can sell this thing. All right, what else we got? Spawn Universe. So let's talk about comic books since we're here. Comic book fans, let's go here. So Spawn Universe, a couple of years ago, we came out. I went from decades of doing one book a month to doing four in a month, which instead of one a month, I'm now doing one a week. Right? It was King Spawn, Gunslinger, Sport, and Spawn. Those are the four. And each one of those set some kind of record. During that span, we set some kind of records for each one of them. But we're also now expanding even more. Some are miniseries, some are one-shots, some are lengthy miniseries, and a couple are going to be monthly. I just want to walk through a couple real quick, and then we'll get on to the toys, the big announcement, and some questions here. So a couple of them that we've got. Here's the thing here. All the books that I've got still going to be $2.99, right? We are the only ones. We're the only one that are selling our books for $2.99, and I upgraded the covers on it, right? Here's my attitude. Every decision I make, I try to remember the 16-year-old Todd who didn't have a lot of money in his pocket. And I just go, what would I would have liked? I don't know, a chance to sample items and comic books and characters at as low a price as possible. So my attitude is, you've got two books, a Marvel or DC book that you think is a 5 out of 10, and it's $3.99, $4.99, or you got one of my books, and you go, I think it's a 5 out of 10, but it's $2.99. You may actually go, well, if they're both 5 out of 10, I'll sample the one that's cheaper, right? Like, come on. Like, that's easy. If you think the other books are 7 out of 10s, then it doesn't matter what the price is. The content you think is better, so you go with it. But all things being equal, a box, right? And again, I know it's not super meaningful, but I got to tell you, I lead a good life because of people like you in this room that have supported me for years. My family has done quite well for ourselves. I don't need more of your money. I don't need more of your money. And you guys could save an extra buck along the way. Like, so who's it benefiting? If I go to if I go up, yes, the stores will make a couple extra dollars. I'll make some more money. I don't need more money. I got lots. Don't worry about it. We're okay. So the answer is that once you sort of draw a line in the sand, and my wife and I did a long time ago, we're good. I don't need to buy silly stuff. I don't need to own a franchise or have a private jet or an island. Right? We're good. We just need to put the kids through college and have a roof over our head and pay for the cars. Right? That's it. That was all we did. We never moved that line. So my wife has been very gracious too. She's like, yeah, cool. She's it. So as long as we can sort of get to break even and put stuff out as cheap as possible, that's the goal. That's the goal. I think in the long run, it matters. I think there's a reason why I'm standing up on this stage 30 years after I started Spawn, and he's still a relevant character. Part of it, I think, is that one of the pieces of the recipe, that we haven't tried to gouge you just because, yes, when we do anniversary books, they go up, and there's a big price point, but I don't want to pick your pockets, because there may come a day where I actually need to ask for money because, something goes down. I might go, ooh, maybe I've got to do it. But I've always had a theory. Don't drink from the spigot if you're not thirsty. And just because you can put money in your pocket, then no, you haven't been with me before. When they tell me they can do things and we can make money, I'm going, yeah, but other than making money, why are we doing this? Like, money can't be the reason. Money can't be the reason unless you need money. And if you don't need money, then it has to be a better reason for that. So until I need money, $2.99. Hopefully I go to my grave. So let's go through a couple of them real quick. We got Sam and Twitch. Sam and Twitch have been there since issue number 1 of Spawn, right? The detective. And here's one of the things that I'm going to walk through the book. I'm trying to give a variety of taste of the book. So I don't want them to be that, like, oh, you like Spawn, you like superhero stuff, here's a bunch of sort of Spawn tangent superhero product. I don't want to do that. What I'm more curious is, can I create some book that even if you don't like Spawn, you might buy one of these other books. This is one of them, right? If you like true detective, gritty, R-rated drama stuff, this is your book. It has nothing to do with Spawn. It's just 2 cops, 2 detectives doing the best they can. Look, Sam and Twitch hang out with Spawn about 5 days out of the year. These stories are about the other 360 days when they're just detectives, right? I read some of these. I'm writing this one. We've got the team up there. I'm writing it because when I leave, like, my fantasy day, which I do a lot of fantasy, I just consume R-rated drama. I don't watch a lot of fantasy stuff. I just go drama, drama, drama. I need real life. I'm at times the opposite of you. I need real life at the end of doing fantasy all day, right? You guys do real life and you go, shit, we need some fantasy. The artwork and stuff is like, it looks like a film. I'm trying to write it like a film, like you're watching a TV show or a movie or a film or something like that. And so we've got the first one, the 8-part miniseries of, again, basically a whodunit, and then I've got another one back. I've got 15 issues of Sam Twitch sitting on the shelf waiting to come your way. So again, this is detective. So next one. Our next book is Monolith. This one again is a little bit closer to sort of the tangent of Spawn, given that he's in Scorched. But this is has a sci-fi bent to it because he comes from outer space. So Monolith, if we go next one, is sort of our hulkish character, if you will. And the first issue came out did well. We're on a second printing, right? So we're doing the second printing. That's the one over there on the right side. I just actually colored that. That's my color. If you like it, it's one. Anyway, so that's the cover for the second printing of it. And Sean Lewis, who was doing some of the work on Scorched, and had a book called Thumbs and whatever. And the art is, I gotta tell you, the art, even in black and white, is just gorgeous. I mean, I was like, if you look at it, like his artwork in it is really spectacular. So we're quite proud of this book here. And this story ends up sort of giving the backstory of the first time you saw Monolith in the comic book. So it's sort of like the prequel to go, oh, there's the origin, and we drop it in on them. So, what do we have next there? Rat City. Now, Rat City is a book that right now is doing gangbusters. I know there are a couple people going, I didn't know that was a Spawn book. Why don't you just call it Spawn 2099? Right? So, it was like, okay, here's what I told the retailers, I'll tell you. We're putting a banner, I don't know if it was there on the Monolith, if you go back to the Monolith cover. Oh, right there, even on this one. See the top, it says, it's Spawn Universe title. Okay, the retailers I was talking to them, they go, we didn't know it was a Spawn title. Rat City didn't mean anything. We didn't know. And I go, I'll put a banner at the top. You know, I wouldn't be cool with it. I just say, it's Spawn Universe title. Right? Come on, man. And then we'll have, so we're going to be doing that in all the books because the retailer said that sometimes they can rack all the Spawn titles together. They just want to, and I understand, look, retailers buy 1,000 items every single month, and they just need easy ways to be able to project the information across. And so it's my job to get that information to them so they can get it to you. So we'll do that. This has now gone to a third print, right? This book by Eric Hirschfeld and Z. Carlo, right? It's gone to a third printing now because they went, oh, we underordered. We didn't know it was a Spawn book, and then they ordered a bunch more, and they went, oh man, we are still underordered. We're on the third. I don't know. We'll go to the fourth printing, but the story. And this is again for people who like tech and sci-fi. Then you can lean this way. If you don't like superhero per se, this is sort of tech sci-fi. So you can go, I don't need that Spawn book. I'll go over here and I'll get the Rat City. And I think it'll make a cool looking toy too. So what else we got? Spawn kills every Spawn. I've done it twice. So I had this goofy idea of just like, hey, what if I get a little cheeky Spawn and he goes around and kills everybody, right? Now the first story that we did years ago was he went to, I think, San Diego Comic-Con, because I wrote it, I think, and he went to San Diego Comic-Con and he misinterpreted that all the people that were the famous superheroes that were taking this shine away from him, if he just got rid of them, that he would be actually just moved up by default. So he started killing everybody and just said it was a bunch of cosplayers. So I was like, what? So it didn't quite work out for him. He was frustrated. A couple of cosplayers didn't make it home yet. He also at the end killed me, right? So it was like, and I spent, everybody got 1 page of death, I got 2 pages of death. People go too long. Because I remember I got in trouble for 1 page, and I was like, what are you talking about? It killed me longer than anybody else. But with this one, and then we did the second one, which was Spawn Kills Everyone Too. It was, both of those were surprise hits. And so we said, well, why don't we do another one? And now that we've got the Spawn universe, it's like, why don't we do Spawn kills every Spawn? Because again, he's still trying to get to the top, and he doesn't want to share any of it, even with his fellow Spawn. The artwork by Rob is, like, again, these are, I know they look, maybe from a distance, they look a little convoluted. I promise you, once you get to the inside of the book, I saw it for the first time about a week ago, pencil, ink, colored, and with the word balloons on it and written. For me, maybe I'm biased, this is the best one of the three. So if you like fun and you want to see murder and mayhem, this is it. Here's the other reason why, besides it just looks really cool. He put about 200 Easter eggs in this series, right? There are some double-page spreads where I'm going, what? So I think that not only is this just a good book on its own that you guys will enjoy if you just want to have a fun sort of read, it's big, and there's a cool 2-page spread of him at the convention again. He's back at the convention. Huh? Oh, you do? Oh, she has them. Okay, she didn't give a show. All right, let's show him some artwork. There he is at the convention. Right? You see, like, this is the lineup to get autographs. He's the only one that has everybody in his line. Right? So if you look at it again, you can't see, again, once you get the book, you see it, like, next to him, flanking him are the other house spawns. And he's just like, oh man, I'm not that popular. I'm going to have to get rid of these dudes too. In this double-page spread, easily a dozen Easter eggs around here. Like, and I'm talking about what's on their shirts, what their bags are holding, the comics are getting signed, the signage of the retailers in the back. I mean, you're just going to go, what? Oh, cool. So I think that, and I even said to him, I was talking to Rob yesterday, I go, man, you put so much stuff, it's like a, where's Waldo? And then he said, without skipping a beat, he goes, Waldo's in there too. You also have to find Waldo. I don't know what issue, but he's in there someplace. I didn't know how, like, I go, no wonder you were late on some of the deadlines. You were doing so much research so you could do, like, 20 sight gags. But I'm quite proud of this one. I phoned him as soon as I saw it and said, we got to push this one, because I think this is going to be a big hit for us. And again, you guys like humor and you like fun, you don't like superheroes, here's a fun way. Here's a fun way to sort of get into some of the stuff that we do. So. Here's another book that'll be coming out in a few months called No Home Here. This is an interesting book. It's written by Daniel and the artwork by Jonathan Galacki. Both of them have been known as inkers. Remember those guys? Oh, you're just tracers. Some of the old ones, right? Kevin Smith movie. And so I encourage both of them to go, you guys are super talented. I don't understand why you're not doing more. And I remember Jonathan Galacki was at my house helping me with Spawn 300. And I said, I don't understand why you don't show your art more. And he goes, well, who's going to give me a chance? And so I put him on a bunch of covers. People had a good reaction to it. And then it was like, and then he ended up doing like 8 or 10 pages for this comic book that we did with Ozzy Osbourne. I directed a music video with him on his last album, and we put a comic book in there. And I wrote it, and Jonathan did the artwork on it. And his stuff is like a mix between like Sam Keith and Bill Sienkiewicz. It's like, it's weird, odd, quirky, cool. I've always been attracted to like odd artwork. And so they've got a story. I'm going to be introducing a new character that we hope plays a big part in the storyline and Spawn University as we move forward. Good. Got another one called Midway, a long time coming. Again, I've got a bunch of these sitting on the shelf. This one, we have like the creative team. Oh yeah, I like that writer. I'm going to try and bring on, and I'll be talking to a couple of female writers because again, somebody could say, well, why is a old man white cracker some young 17-year-old girl, minority? It's probably a fair comment there. Let me tell you where this came from. This is part of me doing my drama, which is a little bit fancy. I have 2 daughters myself, right? And both of them now have grown. They're wonderful adults. But I saw what they have to endure as teenagers going through high school, right? They both got bullied. One of them we had to move from one high school to another, it just got so severe, right? I'm sure some of you have kids or whatever, you know this story. Kids can be sort of mean at a time when young adults are trying to find their way in life. It's a difficult time. And now add the internet on top of it, right? At least when I was at school, all of us, old people, like when somebody said, I don't like you, you just thought it was 5 people. Now they can spread that to like every school. Now you get bombarded with it. Now it's like 50 people or 500 people can text you and say, I don't like you too. It's hard. It's hard. The story on here is, this is Cyan. This is the little baby that was in issue number 3, Wanda, who was the love of Al Simmons, who is aka Spawn Life. This is a little baby now grown up at 17, and she's now at that formidable age that it's time for her to now just figure her way in life. But something, because of the happened in one of the early comic books, literally a decade ago, something starts to manifest itself. And here's the power, is that she can like touch you and make you feel the worst things you've done to another human being. So if you want to beat your wife, to the husband, like, you can feel what it was like to do that to your wife. The problem is she feels it too. So she doesn't care at that moment. She doesn't care at that moment. Like, you feel it, I'll feel it, I don't care. The problem is she can't turn it off. So now, if she was to go give somebody a hug that she loves, she's going to see the worst thing they've ever done. And she's going to find out she doesn't want that. She wants to like the people she likes, and she doesn't want to know the nastiest thing they've done to another human being. And so it's going to force her into isolation. And you've got a teenage girl that should be doing nothing but get closer in her relationship, is going to have to actually isolate herself and push herself away from the people she cares about the most, right? That's a difficult time. I'm just sort of conveying some of the difficulties my daughter went through. How do I do it in a sort of drama comic book way, and how does she navigate that, given that she can't have a cell phone because again she's part of sort of the Spawn thing, and they'll just hunt her down. So she has to just literally cut herself off and then find a way out to something better than that. That's what that story is about. So again, for people who don't like superhero per se, they want a little bit of drama, they want a little bit of something that has a different flavor, I think Misery is a book. I also think that depending on what we do in Hollywood, I think this thing could be a TV show, a heartbeat. Right? It's got those kinds of elements in it. Okay, got one more. We got the Violators. We got a Violator miniseries coming up. This one's kind of interesting too. We've never told the origin of Violator per se, and I'm always talking to writers, and I'm always saying, like, guys, look at, so in my mind, I've been doing Spawn for 30 years, so think of it as like a 10-foot by 10-foot canvas, and I've been painting on it. I think I've only painted like 3 feet by 3 feet. I think there's still a lot to still be discovered and created and added. I don't want you coming in and painting over my brushstrokes. I can do that myself. I've been doing it. I don't want you to do Todd White. I want you to come in and add brushstrokes on the empty parts of the canvas. And so I'm always saying to people, like, where does Clown go at night? I've said this to about 15 writers in my life. Where's Clown go at night? I don't know. I've never written this story, but the reason I don't, I keep waiting for a writer to basically go, let me take that Todd. Let me fill that gap in. Let me paint that stroke. And so Martin Draco, writer Martin Draco, has decided he's going to do it, but he came up with this idea that he wants to tell the origin of Violator over time, and because it's spanning time, literally not only decades, but centuries, he thought it would be cool to actually have different artists doing each one of those century jumps, so that it didn't look the same, any more than our clothing and our transportation and the way we live and the way we look. Everything changes in history, so he wanted to have the artwork to change with it. And so that's why you see so many artists down there. It's a 6-part story, and you've got 6 artists doing 6 chapters. It's an interesting concept, and I'll be curious to see what the fan base and the readership says about an experiment like that. And again, like I said, as you saw, we walked through a bunch of it. All of these, not a lot of quote-unquote superhero stuff. right? I got plenty of that already out there for you. These are things for people, to me, who are not in sort of the spawn, kind of like some of us are, that are just sort of need a little bit of a nudge. I'm hoping that some of these comic books will be part of that. So here's some artwork from that. What else we have? All right, now we get to toys. Now we jump to toys real quick. Before I get to toys, I want to introduce Brian Walter. Brian Walter is my head toy guy here on the West Coast. Where he helped them with all the consumer products and a lot of the DC toys for years and years and years and years. So we were lucky enough to be able to help him. And so if you have any other questions or like severe detailed stuff about toys and specific, he knows way more than I do about any of these. So we're just going to walk through some of these. I'm going to be the play-by. He's going to be play-by-play. I'm going to be color commentating on it, and we'll get through this, and then we'll get to our big announcement and open up the questions.
Yeah, so Sam, go to the next slide. We have a reveal right out of the gate here. So our next mega figure in DC Multiverse line is that classic kind of Jack Kirby looking Dark Side. So we've got him here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
With the wire cage and all.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of wire cage. I'm going to show a couple of them. I don't know if we have a Superman out of the box, but when we get to that, hold on, we'll get to that. But again, the thing that's fun about making some of the toys is you can do the looks sometimes from the 50s, 60s, jump to the 80s, 90s, because there's been like this revolution of people redesigning some of the classic characters' costume stuff. So sometimes we do the modern look, but other times the characters are popular enough that we come back and we can sort of do again a bit of a tip of the hat for Jack King Kirby, one of my great influences, and his look out. So that's what it's going to look like once you're done putting them together with the wire cage, right? So some of you guys like to play with the capes and pose it. So now even the capes are getting foldable, right?
And he comes with an alternate head, alternate hand, so if you don't like the Omega Beam head, you can throw on his angry head. That sort of thing.
Yeah, although this one, I don't know if you guys can see it, it's got like rays coming out of his eye. If your brother gets in, you can just poke her. I didn't try to say that. But I used to do that with my brothers and our toys turned into weapons, really. Like, matter of fact, I was just going, this is big, right? All of our big toys, we clog each other.
So on to our retro line. So this is DC Superpowers Channel, the 80 toy line. We've got the next wave of figures here. There's 5 figures here coming up. Features Black Manta. The presentation's got mine in its own. There you go. Booster Gold, Guy Gardner, Batman, kind of in his Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns look there. A Superman in his kind of Fleischer animation look, and then Black Manta as well. So look for these guys this summer. They'll be going up for pre-order soon.
Let me tell you the weird thing about superpowers for me personally. Is when I started the toy company, it was based on the premise of one question. I don't understand why toys can't look better. Right, that was it. That's how I started the toy company. And I couldn't see anybody was doing it, so I went, I guess I'll just do it myself. I made a couple phone calls and go, how hard is it to make a toy? Right? And kind of complicated, but not as much as they want you to believe. And so we went and we hit the ground, and very quickly they were like, oh man, Todd's doing stuff that other people aren't doing. Right? Because I'm not going to collect that goofy stuff. I'm a geek, I'm a collector, and I'm not going to need my money for that goofy stuff. I'm also an artist, so I have an artist eye, and I just go, I can't give it to you. Like, which is why I got into sports, right? I go, I can't buy, I'm a big sports fan, as you'll probably meet, and I can't buy those sports figures that Kenner was doing starting lineup, because I just don't believe that Derek Jeter is ever in this pose. He's more athletic than that. And the batters have batting gloves, and they missed so many things that were wrong. So I said, no, we're going to make better toys. And now fast forward, and I'm making these toys. Right? And I'm like, and we're doing them intentionally because that's what they're supposed to look like. But I know there's a piece of me that's going, Todd, you can make these way cooler. But that's not what they want. But yeah, you can just add a little bit of these. that's not what they want, right? And so this is I'm conflicted with these. They're super popular, and we keep making them. But I was like, oh man, that's why I started that. But we've got a giant. I mean, obviously, you guys know retro and classic stuff has really got a big place in all sort of walks of life.
So next slide, we've got McFarlane Toy Store Digital. Oh, we have a quick video that should play automatically here, so check it out. Or not. Audio from Shannon's laptop.
So that was, what we were showing you there are the, again, we're talking about like physical, digital, that some people collect the digital versions of our toys and some people collect the physical, and then what we do is we now have ones where we basically just offer both, right? I mean, remember some of the comic books came with the digital download? It's sort of the same thing, right? If you like the digital, then cool, and you get technically a free toy, right? If you like the toy, then technically you get like a free digital. And if you don't like either one, then just keep the one you like and give the other one away as a gift or something like that. The piece of it that I've always thought is weird is the digital part is that there's a lot of reasons for people to collect digital that don't apply here in North America. I said before, one is severe shipping costs in many places around the globe. Literally shipping is 3 to 5 times more than the item cost itself. So they can't afford it, they can't collect. And so their option is either they don't collect, or you have to find an alternative way. Digital is the alternative way. The other piece in certain parts of the country is there's overcrowding, right? Like go to like downtown Tokyo, go to places in India and many other places. They don't have space like we have. They don't have extra room that you put their toys on the shelf. Right? In some cases, I've seen them. I had a friend that had a room in Tokyo and it was 400 square feet. You can barely get like a chair, a bed that comes down from the wall, and a refrigerator. That's it. That's all they can put in there. They can't fill up everything, can you? So you have to give them another option. So either you give them an option or you just say you don't get to come to the party. I don't think I shouldn't be eliminating and trying to limit the amount of people that are in the D party. We should sort of meet them where they're at. And what applies here doesn't necessarily apply there. That's sort of a rule for all things in life. And then some people just like to collect it. You can buy the physical one, then you can download the digital, and you can put down what you saw there. You can put them in a room, a virtual room. So you can now have a room that's filled with hundreds and hundreds of toys. You just don't have to have that space in your room if you don't have to have it, right? The conversation that people get weird about it, like NFT and crypto and all that other stuff. It's just odd to me. Just don't consume it. Just don't consume it. Like, but let those that find it appealing, let them do it in a way that they like, right? So I've heard all the conversation. I've said to my critics for 40 years, right? And I'll say it again. It's about as simple as I can put to anything. Anytime somebody says something critical, anything that you do, spend your time and effort and money on things you enjoy. I can't control your life. I don't control mine. If you don't like something, then don't buy it. Don't consume it. Right? I have a wish. Name's Todd on the Rhyme with God. I have a wish that I wish that everybody would sort of spend their time in the world like they do in the grocery store. And here's what we do in the grocery store. We go into the grocery store with thousands, not tens of thousands of items. And then we take a cart and we push that cart up and down an aisle, and we just take the stuff that we personally enjoy, that we think is fair value. And everything else we just walk by. We don't bitch about it. We don't go, where do you get that cinnamon oatmeal up there? That's ridiculous. We don't do it. We don't call the manager over and go, cream of asparagus soup? Are you out of your mind? Like, we don't do it. What we do is we take what we like, we put it in, we buy what we enjoy, and then we leave. But the moment we walk out of the grocery store, we change that attitude. And somehow we have opinions about things, and we like to complain about things that we don't consume or we don't care about. Like, so if you don't like anything, in this case, I've heard a lot of people with digital things, just don't put it in your cart and walk on by, because some people do put it in their carts, right? Side note, if I go during the pandemic, I think it was a great time for people in the food business. I'm going to the grocery store. A great time for food companies to find out what people really liked and what they didn't. I don't know if you guys saw this. You went to the store during the pandemic, and remember it was like bare shelves, and you was like, go whatever. But I went to some of the ones and it was true. It was like, and you go down to the soup aisle, it's like, nothing, no chicken noodle, no tomato soup, and no this and that, but there was a shit ton of cream of asparagus. I don't know, if I'm Campbell, I'm taking that down and go, even when they're dying. So, and there was a couple items that were in the store, and I was like, oh my gosh, not even when we're dying can they sell that. I don't know exactly what as many as you do, but that's me. Okay.
Yeah, so let's move it along. So we've got a 12-inch post statue based on the art of Jim Lee here. So this again features the wire cage.
Okay, so you hold this, and I'm gonna show you how this wire cage works. So we got Jim Lee, you get the card, cool. I think we were doing some stuff where Jim's actually signing. You can see the cape there, but again, I'll show you. Like if you want to put it up, it goes up, right? So it's again sometimes you guys have seen wire capes and they get a little flimsy, they don't hold their weight, right? We want to make sure that when we're doing this, not only would it hold its weight both up, it would also go to the sides. You could put it to the sides, you could do twists and stuff like that, right? So you literally have articulated capes. Articulated capes can do whatever, right? So just wait till we get this one. You're going to have to unravel like
So just some housekeeping, on that back of that card is a scratch code, right? And that takes you straight to McFarlane Toy Store Digital, where you can get that free included NFT, both for the 7-inch figures and the 12-inch post. So that's you're getting a free asset there essentially. So that's really, really cool on that. So we'll jump to DC Direct now. So we've got 4 statues that are essentially up for pre-order right now. We've got 3 12-inch resin statues. So Dan Mora's calling it on Batman books right now. So a 12-inch Dan Mora piece there. Christian Bale, Dark Knight. It's been 15 years since Dark Knight. It's about to be the 20th anniversary of Batman Begins. So perfect time for a Christian Bale statue. And then everybody's favorite, Adam West, as Batman 66 there. That's your favorite Batman, I believe.
Yeah, it's like Star Trek. Who's your captain? Who's my Batman? You can also see we like to have as much fun with the cage as possible on the other one.
And then on the next slide, Batman Black and White, one of the longest running statue lines. This is Batman by Jorge Jimenez. I think I did the count. This is technically Batman Black and White number 112. Todd's was 100. So yeah, look for all of those. He's got the biggest cage for sure. So all of those are up for pre-order right now. So go check those out. Next slide. We're going to jump to. So we're going to be releasing a 1-to-1 scale Batman cowl. It's going to be a line, so we're not releasing just one. So here you go. Show it off. This is Batman 89. You can see the sense of scale. This is going to be around $100 retail, so it's great for and perfect for everybody's man cave.
So again, what the problem is with this is that like we don't like cows. Like we have again, my friend didn't tell you I was not going about it. But for some of us that have room to be able to get maybe like all the cows, let's say from the movies or whatever else. Some people have been doing them, right? It's not the only one, not the first one to figure this one out. But a lot of them, especially when they go to that scale, are pretty spendy, right? So we did what I would have wanted again as I was a young kid. It's like, how do I get that cool thing, but I don't have a lot of money? And the answer is, well, we can't make it resin, and you can't make it like out of this expensive stuff that's going to elevate the cost. So we're in the plastic business, right? I mean, between comic books and toys, let me just tell you, I'm in the plastic and paper business. Right? So, like, that's about as simple as it is. It's a good honest living, both of them. But again, this is plastic, right? So it's not heavy, you're not going to hold it. Something that falls on the ground, it's not going to break. That's how we can get it to the consumer at a reasonable price. From a distance, if we do it right, it should look like it's a $500 piece. Even though you get a fraction of that coming up close. That should be, that was the thought process for a lot of the toys we've done over the last 30 years at McFarlane stores.
So,
Oh, you can't wear it either.
So we're at that moment where we've been hyping some big news, so I'm gonna hand it off to you, Todd.
Okay, so we'll get to the news and then maybe we have a couple minutes for the questions. If not, we'll get there. It's been a long time. I sort of chase a lot of things here, and so I know you guys like candy, right? So, and one of the candies a lot of people like is M&M's, right? And so it's like, hopefully, we're not selling you M&M's, but what I'm going to give you is a different version. I hope you think it's just as sweet. Finally, for the first time, McFarlane Toys, who's going to go? Wait. Yeah, McFarlane Toys is going to join up with Marvel. Right? So 30 years in the making. I've been in the toy business for 30 years and have never had a piece of Marvel. And so we've talked about it off and on, we've joked about it, whatever else, and I kept, I have this running joke with them saying, hey, there's a way, because well, we have to carve it out because, we've got our big partner, Hasbro, in one, when you want to protect the partners, the big partners, I understand that. But I was like, how do you feel about a carve out? And the initial sort of joke I was telling them, I know the carve out you can never repeat, and it's not going to step in anybody's toes. Why don't you let me do my own artwork, and then I'll get me to sign them, and it would be the only McFarlane done by McFarlane, signed by McFarlane, right? Nobody else will do that, I won't sign anybody else's. As long as it's sort of the running gag, they eventually, after doing a couple things with them with some of their app games, and then with Avatar, because that's under the Disney banner, they sort of came back and said, that sort of thing you're always talking about and joking? Why don't we try that? And then, what if we open it up even wider enough so you can basically do the classic looks of our characters, right? And that's it. So I'm not bound now just to do Todd, although I love him. So what we're going to do is I now get a chance to take my 2D artwork, pick some of it, both the covers and the internal stuff, and then turn it into 3D, right? And so again, we're at the first stages of it, so we're going to play with scale and price points and size and material and a bunch of other things, and I hope that all of you will give me your feedback to tell me what you want, right? Because I'm sure we'll get a bunch of stuff wrong at the beginning. We're trying our best, but this is the great thing about doing anything. You always look back at your first efforts and you go, man, what was I thinking, right? I'm hoping that as much as people will enjoy our first line, that in 3 or 5 years, with the good help of your opinion and Disney's opinion, which is Marvel, and what we learn along the process, that this will just get better and better and better. So a couple of the early ones here are the Captain America from those 2 covers. So if you go back, these are, we got, right out of the gate, we're going to be doing 2 scales. We're going to be doing a 1/10 scale, we're going to be doing a 1/6 scale. And so both of these are the first 1/6 scale right here. So they're going to be sort of they're going to be big, they're going to be big, like this and a little bit bigger, right? We have to have a couple different scales to how you do the Hulk compared to Iron Man. You have to have something bigger. But people also like the bigger one. So they'll be on bases, they'll have dioramas, they'll have backdrops, some in different scale stuff, some will come with comic books that may or may not be the comic book that you're doing the cover of, whatever. We're going to try all of them, right? Please, don't be shy, and because you're not once you get out of the grocery store. Give us your opinion on what you think we should be doing, because everybody is going to have an opinion on what they should be doing. So these are the first couple ones in wave 1, which are the big scale size, and then at the next scale size, here's 4 of the covers we're going to be playing with here. One is my Spider-Man. One is the first appearance of Deadpool by Rob Liefeld. One is, to me, when Iron Man, when I was a kid, finally turned shiny. This is the first time he turned shiny by John Romita Jr. And then the biggest selling comic book Marvel's ever done, X-Men #1 by Jim Lee. So not only do I get to sort of do cool covers that I think are historic in the history of Marvel, but I also get to sort of try and emulate, not my artwork, all the time, but some of my peers, my contemporaries, some of the people who influenced me, and then even some of the people who came after us, will be able to do this big scope as long as it falls within the confines of the contract that we have. So, again, this is where we're going to play with scale, because again, we try to make the first wave all the same size, but, you know, somebody standing tall like that is a big figure, and then Spider-Man in a crouch can kind of look small. So I'm going to play with it and go, well, why is it got to be small? Because somebody might not want both. So why don't you just make it bigger? That's what we do on the comic book covers. I just fill up the space. I don't care what the other guys did. I just draw my own drawing. So we'll do that. We're also going to try and do stuff like, here's some of the 3Ds of some of them right here. So again, you got a McFarlane, you got a Rob Liefeld, you've got a John Miller Jr., you got a Jim Lee based on, and they've got some background that will come with it. Here's some of the packaging here that they'll come in. And look, here's the interesting thing, and I think we'll probably get a little bit late here. So, is that there should be a point where that figure that I do, you should be able to turn it, and at some point, bam, that's the image that I'm drawing from, right there. If you turn the toy, it should be, that's it. That was the image, whether it was a cover, a poster, or an interior artwork, that's it. If you turn it left and right, it might not be nearly as recognizable. Why? We don't have the information. Like my Spider-Man 1 cover, everybody knows that cover, right? Cool, all right. We don't really know the information of what he looks like from the side. So if I was to show you a picture of him from the side, you wouldn't necessarily go, oh, that's from 301, right? So this is part of the fun of experimenting with these figures right now, is trying to go, what does the side back of all these characters look like? The most difficult one so far? Mine. And I'll tell you why, because when I was drawing Spider-Man, I didn't give a shit about anatomy. And so now my sculptor is going, God, he's got two asses. Oh, and that's it. What time? You got a couple time for a couple? Oh, I gotta go to sign. So how about a couple questions? Let's see if we can pick a couple questions. We're gonna do a couple questions. Look, there's a nice handsome person right here, so I want to do somebody else. Yeah, come up here and ask your questions so they can all hear.
I just wanted to know if you'd be able to put them together. Like, will you be able to put them together and have them like a couple? That's a good question.
Yeah. So can you put them together? Like again, they're non-poachable, right? So more like what we did with the sports figures and stuff like that. But if you take a look at that cover, let's say the Captain America one, there was Spider-Man crawling down the wall. Will we do Spider-Man crawling down the wall? You can buy separate. It should look cool in and of itself. But if you happen to shove them both together, you just happen to make that cover, right? Yes, the answer is yes. That's part of the experiment we're talking about right now. How do you do the X-Men, right? It's got 2 or 3 figures on it. Can you do another one that you can sort of put and move it up on it? That's it. Again, that's part of the experimenting. I hope that you guys not only sort of will help me with some of the cool ideas, but we'll come up with some other stuff. We have one more question. We got another question. Yes, we'll go over here. Come over here.
Do any kind of art with Marvel again, as far as like Spider-Man, he revisiting maybe some drawing of, you know, I mean, I miss it.
No, I know. Right. The answer is no. I was the president of Image, and I take that very, very seriously. And so I'm the only one of all my partners that since 1992 has not drawn on page for Marvel. And the only time I've ever come out of that hole was we did a Spawn Batman with Frank Miller, and then we did the one